I'm in a front hallway, very little space here. This is my original art on black wool suiting fabric called Broken Glass. It's done in chalk. I did this in sidewalk chalk, and I'm making the video because now this is how you design an art quilt. So whether it's black fabric or muslin or any plain colored fabric, what I did was tape this to the floor so I had a hard surface underneath and did the artwork. And now what I would do, especially with like a vintage 237 zigzag machine, what I would do first is layer. I would put the same exact wool on the back and for the backing, and I would put batting, a thin batting in between, and using a zigzag stitch. Everywhere you see lines, I would zigzag in the color that you see. So there's yellow, pink, blue, and green. And it's a little bit messy because of me using sidewalk chalk. I wanted wide lines. Yarka or Yarka pastels or new pastels would have worked just as well and would have had less chalk dust. So this is how you take your imagination and say, you know what, I want to make an art quilt. And you take some, this is I think 36 by 36 inches, the fabric. You take a yard of fabric, a square yard of fabric. You do your art. It's also a life is fragile depiction because of the chalk work. You could leave it like this, wash it out, do another one, or take it to the next step, which, as I said, I would layer it. And I believe sidewalk chalk will stay on there long enough for me to zigzag on the lines. So I have 4 colors of thread I need. The 237 by Singer makes what I think is the best zigzag, but the white zigzagger could do it too. Any of them that have zigzag. And you can make a wall quilt that is your original art with chalk art. Now, as usual, I want to add something here. You can see this line. I went over it with 2 colors, yellow and pink. And none of the machines are going to make a zigzag stitch that wide. The Brother LX3014 probably has the widest zigzag. Most of the vintage Singers have narrower zigzags even in their widest stitch. But if you run into that and you want to do that, you can picture like this line here having 2 rows of pink zigzag on the black fabric. It would be beautiful. And this is like a steel blue or a baby blue. Again, when you want to have a wide line, instead of making it a small line and not getting the punch that you get with a quilt like this, make multiple lines. So just go around your design 3 times instead of once. Put 3 lines for each big thick row. This is a really cool way to make quilts. And if I do this one, I don't know if it'll last that long because it's in chalk and I have like a million things to sew first. But if I do this one, it'll be beautiful. This will be a beautiful wall quilt that then is frameable art from chalk. Chalk has so many possibilities. It's wonderful.